Most gods in most religions are immortal. They live forever. But the gods of the old Norse world were different. They could die. And worse than that, far worse, they knew exactly how. There was a prophecy. It told them, in detail, how the world would end. It named the signs and the order of the battle, and it told each of the great gods exactly how he would fall. This is that story. Ragnarok, the doom of the gods. But it began with the death of the one god everyone loved, Baldr, the brightest and the kindest of them all. He began to dream that he would die. So his mother Frigg made every single thing in the world swear an oath never to harm him. And the gods made a game of it, throwing spears and stones at Baldr, watching every weapon bounce away. He could not be hurt. But Loki, the trickster, learned the one thing Frigg had passed over, because it seemed too young to swear: the mistletoe. He shaped it into a sharp dart, and he put it into the hand of Baldr's blind brother, Hodr, and he guided his aim. Hodr threw, and the dart struck Baldr, and the brightest of all the gods fell down dead, and the hall went silent. They begged the goddess of death to give him back, and she said she would, on one condition: if every single thing in the world would weep for him. So everything wept. The gods, the people, the stones, the trees, even the cold iron. Everything wept except one. A single giantess sitting alone in a cave who said, "Let death keep what it has." And that giantess was Loki in disguise. Because of him, one thing in all the world would not cry, and so Baldr stayed dead. Now the gods understood what Loki truly was. They hunted him down and bound him beneath the earth, with a venomous serpent fixed above his face to drip poison onto him forever. And there he waited, full of hatred, for his chance. And then the prophecy began to come true. It started not with fire, but with cold. 3 winters came, one after another, with no summer in between. The world froze. Crops died, and starving, desperate people turned on each other. They called it the Fimbulwinter. And while it gripped the world, the 2 great wolves that had chased the sun and the moon across the sky since the beginning of time finally caught them and swallowed them whole. The sun went out. The moon was gone. The stars themselves fell from the sky, and the world was left in total, freezing darkness. And then the alarm was sounded. The great tree that holds all the worlds together began to shudder and groan. And Heimdall, the watchman of the gods, raised his mighty horn to his lips and blew a single blast, heard across all the 9 worlds. The call to the last battle. Loki tore himself free of his chains. His monstrous son, the great wolf Fenrir, who the gods had bound with a ribbon woven from impossible things, broke loose at last. And his jaws stretched open from the earth all the way to the sky. In the ocean, the Midgard serpent, the snake so vast it wraps around the entire world, rose up out of the deep. It thrashed onto the land, and the seas flooded, and its venom poisoned the sky. And across that flooding water sailed a terrible ship. It was called Naglfar, and it was built entirely from the untrimmed fingernails of the dead. It carried an army of giants, and Loki himself stood at the helm. They were all marching to one place, a vast plain called Vigrid. And from the shining halls of the gods, the defenders rode out to meet them. Odin led them in his golden helmet, with his great spear in his hand. He rode straight for the wolf, Fenrir, the All-Father, the wisest being in all the 9 worlds, against a beast of pure hunger. And Odin knew, because the prophecy had told him, that he was going to lose. Fenrir's jaws opened wider than the sky, and the wolf swallowed Odin whole. The king of the gods was dead. But his son, Vidar, was right behind him, silent and grim. Vidar stepped onto the wolf's lower jaw with a boot made for this single moment, seized its upper jaw, and tore the monster apart, avenging his father. One death paid for another. Nearby, Thor found his oldest enemy, the Midgard serpent. The 2 of them had wanted to kill each other since the dawn of time, And now, finally, they did. Thor swung his hammer and crushed the serpent's skull. The great snake died. And Thor, the strongest of all the gods, the protector of mankind, took 9 steps away from its body, and then fell dead himself, killed by the venom pouring from its jaws. All across the plain, the gods and the monsters destroyed each other. The watchman Heimdall and the traitor Loki killed one another. The god Freya fell. One by one, the lights of the old world went out. And then came the fire. A giant named Surtur, with a sword that burned brighter than the sun, strode across the battlefield. And he flung that fire out in every direction. Everything burned. The halls of the gods, the homes of men, the great world tree itself. The whole of creation was wrapped in flame. And then the scorched and broken world sank down beneath the sea. And there was nothing, only water and silence. But that was not the end. Slowly, out of that water, a new world rose, green and clean and new. A few of the younger gods had survived the fire, and they walked out into the new dawn. And up out of the land of the dead, gentle and forgiven, came Baldr, the bright god they had lost, alive again at last. And 2 people, a man and a woman, who had hidden deep inside the world tree, came out to find the whole green earth waiting for them. From them, all of humanity would begin again. And a new sun, the daughter of the old one, rose to light the sky. The Norse believed the world had to end so that it could begin again. The gods knew they were doomed, and they fought anyway, so that something new could grow from the ashes. They did not fight to win, they fought because it was right. And maybe that is the most human story the gods ever told. I am Pantheon X. Until next time.